Please don't kill us." His voice cracked and trembled. Curtis yanked the door back open, keeping his weapon braced against his shoulder, and the team swarmed the vehicle. 2 men hauled the suspect out, flattening him, stomach down on the asphalt. The other 2 team members pulled the last man around, also forcing him down and securing his hands behind his back. Curtis circled around the vehicle slowly. He saw the man he shot, lying dead on the surface with a pair of bloody holes grouped close together to the left of his sternum. He used the toe of his boot to work the weapon sling around the dead man's shoulder and kicked the rifle away. Curtis continued his search, making sure no more hidden surprises were waiting for his team. "All clear," he said. "Clear," each of his men responded in turn. "Signal the go-ahead. Law enforcement can clean up this mess now," Curtis said. He keyed his mic. "Dr. Spencer, get the truck in here so we can secure these 2. "Roger that, Lieutenant Clark." "I think this is the last of them, Stone," Curtis said. "I believe you're right," John replied. "Great job, Lieutenant. First round's on me." Chapter 2. Marvin Van Pierce, director of the Hostile Response Division, walked into the room. The team was already inside. Those who weren't already standing rose to their feet when the director entered. Parker Lewis, the computer specialist, still sat in his seat, oblivious, his eyes fixed on the screen of his laptop. John Stone nudged Parker's chair with a stiff knee. "Oh, yeah, sorry about that, sir," he said, staggering to his feet and easing his computer closed. "Relax, everyone," Van Pierce said, placing a folder at the head of the table before sitting down. The rest of the team took their seats, except for Parker, who looked around confused. "I just stood— never mind," he said, sitting next to John. Director Van Pierce eyed Parker, almost letting a smile show on his face. "Are we finished, Mr. Lewis?" Parker just nodded, pressing his lips together. "First, I want to say congratulations. With yesterday's operation, we've successfully eliminated the remaining mercenary companies operating on U.S. soil." Marvin opened the folder and glanced down at the top sheet. "We will question them all and find out definitively. But it's believed they were all acting in connection with the recently deceased Warren Ratcliffe."
"Or at least the man that passed his orders down to Ratcliffe,"
Dr. Miranda Spencer added. She adjusted her glasses, looking at a copy of the report the HRD director also had. "Do we know who that may be yet?" John asked. "The man above Ratcliffe, I mean." "Not at this time," the director said. "With the amount of data you and Parker were able to bring us, I have no doubt that information will be discovered. But it's going to take time." "You dropped a mountain of files on us," Curtis Clark said with a smirk. "The analysts are going to be pulling double shifts to rake through all of that." "I have a question, sir," Parker said, raising a hand. "Put your hand down, son. Just ask your question. This isn't elementary school," Marvin said.
"Okay, I know we haven't heard back from the teams handling the interrogations, but do the analysts have an idea what the contractors were hiding?"
Parker folded his hands on the table.
"They weren't targeting anyone, and they weren't taking anything from the locations they hit."
"Initial reports suggest a high probability that they were intelligence operations," Van Pierce said. "Most likely the man calling the shots covering his tracks," John said. "None of these companies had any involvement until after Ratcliffe's death." "We just need to keep doing what we're doing until the data comes back and we get a clearer picture," the director added. After the meeting, John jogged down the hall to catch up to Director Van Pierce. "Sir, may I have a word?" Marvin stopped and turned. "Of course, Stone. What is it?" He started walking down the hall again as John fell into step at his side. "I just think we should be focusing much more on the shot caller, the man that handed the orders down to Ratcliffe." "How do you know it's a man?" Marvin asked with a smirk. "I understand. But are you sure this isn't just your desire to seek vengeance for a friend?" John stopped and faced Van Pierce. "I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a part of this. But you and I both know this is much bigger." Marvin stopped and put his hands in his pockets. "Yes, it is. That's why we need to be careful about how we approach the next few steps." "We've seen what these guys are capable of," John said. "If this mystery man at the top is sending Merc units to destroy evidence, he's not on the run or going into hiding. He intends to stay right where he is." "And while he's doing that, we'll keep getting closer to revealing his identity," Marvin said. I appreciate your drive, but this is a massive threat.